Okay, welcome to Addy AiA software, appraisal software. It is an appraisal process. It's taking your work from start to finish and delivering everything you need so that you don't have to fill forms or do a lot of things that you would have if you had a trainee, or if you sent something to the Philippines for 25 bucks. You don't have to share your MLS numbers with them anymore. You can just take care of all of it here. What it also does is that it's available everywhere, and that it is available everywhere, and you make all of the appraisal decisions. It also operates on your machine, and nothing leaves your machine. You're able to take advantage of all of the features of AI without interacting with AI. So when you feed this software your contract or your engagement letter or any of the data, it is private. It's not shared. There's no third-party sources looking at it. Right now, this software operates in your tab storage, and moving quickly to 3.6 and a software download product to solve some of the data concerns and storage issues. So if you have a stray key, until then, just clear it. If you start a new project, you do that there. If you're missing documents, it'll ask you to put them in up there. But if we open one, it'll say, hey, where do you want to start? And let's just start at the subject property. So when I first come into the system, I'm going to be in intake. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to pull a list of properties larger than my competing set. So if I'm thinking I'm going to be about a mile, I'm going to go ahead and take 2, and I'm going to get all sales. See, it's geocoding now. So I'm going to drop that in here, and that's a CSV file or Excel file from my MLS of 2 miles and 2 years, so that I can then carve that up into my competing set however I want, not what MLS gives me to. And if I want to identify a feature that I want to be able to include in my comps, then I'm going to include that there. But I'm going to take all of my subject property and I'm going to dump it all into this bin right here. It's going to pre-fill all of this information, and then I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go, oh, it's well supported. I'm going to take it. So then I go to the next screen, which is the setup. So in here, I'm going to, if it's a sale, I'm going to dump my contract into a bucket. I'm going to dump my engagement letter into it. I can create templates. It's basically all of the information from all of the information, and then click that. It acknowledges AO41, which is something that probably not many softwares are covered by. They're pulling data. So one of the main reasons I built it is adjustments, and one of the software that I used didn't allow me to put my data set into the system. It wanted to pull its own. Well, it pulling its own, I don't know what it's doing with it. I don't have any control. I want to look at all the comps, make sure they're competing. I want to verify them, and now I can do more than that with them. So once I've done all this section, I'm going to go to my subject property, and then I'm going to go to my inspection. So when I get back from my inspection, I'm going to take and I'm going to load all that stuff. So I can verify. Right now with UPS, it was free. Then they wanted to charge for it. And then they wanted to charge for it and charge $500 a month for the use of it. So we may or may not be doing that. If we do something different, we will absolutely include and upgrade the software. But it pulls all the data from this section, the intake, and it fills this. You can drop additional information here. I put my sketch in there. I put my photos in there, and I put my voice notes in there, and it autofills all of the information. It fills these photos, and then the project information. So if it's a PUD or an HOA, I'm going to dump that into this folder here, or a condo supplement in there. And then it's going to fill all of this section and the condo section. I click those so they wouldn't even come up if I hadn't clicked them. So if I unclick them, green home, got a great green home feature if it's a rental property there. So just click those, dump things in there. It fills all the buckets, loads the photos. Going to tell you if you're missing a photo. I can run this photo intelligence. So I grab this key from this API key, and then I plug it in there, and it'll run those photos against the API and come back with a list of things it found. You can accept them or not. It's then create a list of possible cost to cure things in the description. So then I'm going to go to effective age. I'm going to fill that out. So I have a whole thing on all of this that's in more depth. So it fills this, your sketch. We get an ANSI statement we can put in it goes in our report. I say put now because we're moving to 3.6, which means we're not going to put it anywhere. And we're trying to work with Total to move this straight across. But this, your description of the property pre-fills this. And the highest and best use info, generate that. So we generate the voice ID, and then we run the audit pass, and it creates this from what I said. So it added things to it. So you're going to edit it, fix it, take anything out you don't want in there, but it's a detailed description of your property to download, put in your report, fix it, and while it's doing the data pull, it's a good spot for it. So here's the export it to Word. Then we're going to the grid, fix the grid, send it to the grid. Now we're going to go build the competing set. We've done our description. Now what your subject section is, that is the arbiter of truth. So this then accepts your data from the subject section. So if the county has the above grade GLA as something other than what subject is, subject overrides it because that's your inspection. Download your CSV. Now you can set the effective dates from the subject, but you check it. You can go 10, 20 years. You can go 20, 30, 40%. You can go up or down on the lot. You can go up or down on that. And then it's going to tell you active, pending, and sold. It's going to have a list. It'll auto-generate some comps, what it thinks you should check. You can click all 6 of them. Come down here. It'll tell you what rentals are and if you want to widen your settings. And then it has what it used to parse out all of that data to create your competing set. So that information. So then we go to the market. So in the market, it uploads our data from that. It has a 1-year file, 2-year file, and your potential comps. then from that perimeter, that you take that same information that it used to create that competing set and create a 5-year competing set in Excel and drop that into this data download. But we're going to have a map. We can apply the radius and draw the neighborhood, has other description of properties that we've used in the past. We can load them, and then they fill here. You can move them to there, strip out the old distances, put in the new, then you have a neighborhood description. And here you can click these however you wish. It takes from that map and creates, I mean, it doesn't matter, I'll click it, creates this. So might not be right. CSV, it'll get your high, low, and median predominant age. And then from your grid you snapped 4 corners, it's going to identify and move those from a longitude, latitude to a, hey, this is the landmarks. Use it, don't use it. Now we're going to go to the data cleanup. You'd use that mark down there. It thinks I need a history report, so I would click on it and put it in there. But in here, then we load our, so we got to go back. So, and we didn't go to the data. So the data upload, so it's going to load that. It's going to fill the competing comps and 2-year, and you're going to drop a 5-year. If you have rentals, you're going to drop them here. If you have an alternate set, you're going to go there. Or if you have a condo set, you're going to put it there. And it's going to give you the MLS numbers for your pairs that come off your 5-year and your competing set. And you're going to take them MLS numbers, you're going to plug them into your MLS, and you're going to print a listing page and a photo page for all of the competing set and all of the pairs. So when we go to the data clean, it's going to automatically pull in your CSV, and you're going to load the listing photo pages here, and the photo pages there, listing here, photos there, takes a while to go. That key that you got, you're going to put it here or go get a new one. You can test it if you want. And then your pairs, you're going to put the listings here, the photos there. It's going to parse all that. It's going to tax your tab storage. I do this, then that, then analyze everything, or analyze this and take care of them while this is analyzing. You can not analyze anything and just pass through. You can do a thin pass and just put QC on it, or you can do a 3 different levels to max. Max might cost you $10 per file. I think it says that in here. And your description of the property probably cost you 8 pennies. But here's your data. It'll tell you what you have of each thing. Your data health, your forensic pair viewer. So if I pull that up, it has this. I don't have the photos, so it would run the pair viewer. You can watch another video, but this is how we support quality and condition. And this is how, after it's run the AI pull, it's going to put quality and condition in the subject. It's also going to pull up a verifier. So I have to click one and then pull it up. So it pulls this up and it fills these from the CSV, from the listing, and then from the data pull. And it saves it to a library. And then when you use that one again, it has, hey, you previously already verified all this info, accept all or clear and re-verify. So in this, it'll have all the 3.6 stuff too, the exterior, interior. It wants to know all that because it's taken the data and This is kind of how you get to that number. So one step closer, huh? Here's a lower level. It's going to take a look at those photos and decide all that stuff. So you're here to verify it all. And if you hit that, it's going to bring up the listing and it's going to cycle through. It's going to have the listing and the photos. And you can just sit here. You can pause it. You can click through. You can speed it up or slow it down. You can sit there and look and verify everything. Click whenever needs changing. If you think it's a busy road, which often we do, you can pull up Google Streets, verify that, look, see if it has solar on the roof, and then look through the listing in that viewer to see if it's save it. Next, it'll go to the next one. So that's how you go through that. It's going to give you the MLS numbers for those sets. And if you excluded one, it'll tell you put down why you excluded it. You can copy that, put it on the OB, how you parsed it out. This, you can geocode the comps or run a ranking engine. So we can run that real quick. Run the ranking engine, and it'll tell you after cleanup what the computer matches are. So you can see what you picked, and it'll tell you what it thought you should have picked. So you can decide, you can add one, you can delete one, you can do whatever you want in there. It's going to also pull out some location number, but I got a good plan to upscale that. And then you can build your cards and refresh them. And this is outreach for seller concessions. You can send that email. We're not going to. And click, yeah, email sent, or no, it wasn't. This is a fake file. I'm not sending no emails. But when you do, you can save, upload in here your tax main and your sales history, because we're going to use it in the results. So when you get emails back, you say, yeah, it had a concession. Here's how much it was. And it raised the price that much. And then if there's back and forth, like what's arm's length? Well, arm's length is, and then you go back and forth and you paste those questions and then you put all the answers in here, complete it, and save it to the library. Next time you have this same comp as a comparable, it'll autofill from what was already verified, and we don't have to bug that poor realtor again. So after you're all done, then you're out of here and you're over to market stats. So this is the main part of the input, and there's not a lot of input after this except to the land. Well, I guess there is land, and then if it's income property. So your clean data that came out of that, you can get that here, and you can get any of these charts to put in your report there. They're going to all be at the end anyway. So here's a bunch of information. Look through all the regression charts. It runs all the things. And then we're going to go to site value. So in site value, we're going to upload our MLS listing pages for our land sales. So I've already done it. It automatically brings your potential comps in. You can change anything. It's going to give you some numbers. If it's rural property, there's some things that you can do to customize it a little bit for rural properties. I dropped my land sales in. It auto does it. You can go through and modify it. It marks all that, lets you pick a number. So you got a number there, add a number there, and then I add like assessor for low sales, not a lot of land sales. We like to pull these two numbers to support that. Maybe we just do that, but you can upload your assessor docs, which were loaded in the seller concession spot, and it'll pull up the adjusted assessor docs then we reconcile, pick a number, and then we generate the report, and then it generates this report for your land value. Then I can take and I can save that, and this is what you get in a Word doc to put in your report for your land value. So at the cost approach is next. We pull the land value in, all the subject section in, and fetch from dwelling cost. And dwelling cost hasn't hooked us up yet. So give them a call, let them know if it still ain't working. It'll fill all that and we'll get a good cost approach. There's two other options, Marshall and Swift, or we can create our own, doing an outreach program to local builders and developers and tradespeople to create our own local cost approach. So something to look forward to. All the people that are on the system in your area, if y'all work together and did a bunch of outreach, you can create your own cost approach locally. If it differs too much or you're not well supported by the national refresh pipeline. So it filled it. Here's depreciated cost. So depreciated cost, I can run that. Put in the land value, it'll tell you how much a square foot. Compute that, it'll tell you what the depreciated cost for quality and condition. And the other software that I really like does quality and condition, but its only support for quality and condition is depreciated cost. So I don't like that. So those two companies merged, and is kind of why I built this. So here is our adjustment tool, and it will auto load from our clean data first. We're going to run that analysis. I have a whole video on it. It'll come up with the support. It'll tell you which ones that you need, because in let's go back to that data clean. I forgot to show you. Hit list tells you what adjustments between the comps you selected and the subject property, what are probably going to be the adjustments you're going to need. So if we do a hit list, it's going to say, hey, you need these. So all the other adjustments we don't care that much about. And then you can do this and it'll check your data to make sure it's clean. And if it's not, so you get good results, it'll tell you, hey, you should go look at this one and fix it. So that is what that clean data pulled into here creates. And then that creates excellent market support for features. Depreciated cost is not a market reaction to a feature, but our sale resale analysis that we loaded in that pairs viewer is, if it's a flip, it's nothing but quality and condition. If nothing happened to the property, it's nothing but time. That I cover in detail, but those are the ones you need. Here's all the support. You can move it around. You can expand it. It'll tell you where you're at with the support. It'll go your high and low. You can set it. You can set those here. Roll that back up, and then you strip out the locked features and those, and it recomputes it. So then I'm going to go to take all of these. The ones that aren't supported, I'm just going to put it where I want it to be. And then I'm going to go to time. I'm going to do the time module. Well, I'm going to go through reconciliation first, and then I'm going to go to time. I'm going to take that preliminary adjustments. I'm going to level the time module, and I'm going to create a more accurate time assessment. And then I'm going to do a return trip back here. and it will interject the time, and I'm going to remove both the time and the locked features from our clean competing set of the 1 year data set. And then that I can go through and try to get everything green and solid and great. So I have max support for everything I need. Not concerned about the rest, only what I need. And then if it doesn't give me great support after stripping both the locked features and the timeout, when you've locked those, they're locked there with the clean set. Because now I'm going to flood the zone a little bit. I'm going to put the 2 year competing set in, which won't change it too much. But I'm going to also have the 3 year, 5 year data set. And I'm going to override that by dropping the all sales that we put in OB, which is all of the market area sales, and that will flood the zone. It had 391 sales, created a lot of pairs, a lot of support, and then I'm going to go to the reconciliation. So that's the data sets that you need. We're going to come over here, and if it takes too long to load, you can pull the pipeline, but it loads, and it's going to give you your depreciated costs, priors, peers. You can put in that if you want by just pasting the numbers off the Word doc that comes in comments that I used to put in my report, or did. And then this software is a wrapper for both this and the other one. So then I can put the slider wherever I want and use whatever I want as the adjustment calculation. Some people just use the last class I took on adjustments, 100% depreciated cost. Couldn't believe it. So I'm going to lock all this because it don't matter. And then we're going to go to time. So in time, you don't need to input anything. It's all coming in. If you'd stand alone, you could put it in there, but you're going to create a time module. And if you look at your market conditions over 12 months, there is a little ebb and flow for sure, but there's not a 5% change month over month. So we don't want to. This allows you to pull from the pipeline. There we go. To create the market time based on the facts and all of the information and a bunch of different data sets, including those pairs that we did. You can throw linear in, or this guy. It'll put it in the grid. It'll show you your time. You can tighten that zone or loosen it up a little bit when it's exactly what you think it should be that supports your market. Then you can lock it in and you can say increasing, stable. It'll tell you what it thinks it is, and it'll say inconclusive if it doesn't know. So you just tell it what it knows, then you lock your rates and you move on. So your income section, you're going to load your got a little bug there. You're going to load your pull from the pipeline. You're going to go to your rental comps. You're going to load your listings and your photo pages. It's going to load them all up. We didn't put one in, so it didn't load. And then there's a whole thing on it. But in here, we have a GRM analysis, a rent sensitivity. So it pipes in our market adjustments that we created. And then I have a process using the GRM that we developed to create a rental adjustment value that you apply to your 1007. So that will then load up your, well, there isn't any info, but it'll load up your 1007, use your rent adjustment values that you created, apply it to your 1007, and then you're going to reconcile everything and it'll write it up and you're going to be done. The grid autofills and auto populates and then auto adjusts and loads up all your photos, the description of your property. You can set up a design template. So in here, a lot of times what I do, like land for rural or RV parking is a good one. Shops. So if I have a shop, a 300 square foot shop with a dirt floor is not comparable to a 900 square foot concrete floor, 210, 120, heated, cooled, got a pisser, 3-man doors, and RV door, and has TV service. That's a completely different shop than your big shed. So we do a step ladder. I create a step system, and you can put dependent on the square footage and the quality, you can create a step system. So when that gets applied to the grid, it's proportional to the actual feature, dependent on what yours is compared to what its is. So pull from the pipeline, and in here you got your comps. So there's no photo listings. You can put them in here. Then it'll load them up because we're going to have, I like 6. So in here I'm going to put that to 6. You can go to the next row there and you can apply your adjustments, apply your time. Here's your time, and apply your seller concessions that we created back there and got verified and will be in your work file. So here's all of those adjustments. Probably some fine tuning here in 3.6. Switch to 3.6 right there. So here's our 1004. And then if I hit the viewer, it's going to bring that up. Remember our viewer. Now we're going to create a different view. So this is a detailed view of the comp and our grid. So it's easier to change, but it also gives us the math that was used. So you can look there, you can see the adjustments, you can look at the net and gross adjustment values, adjusted value there, move anything wherever you need it to go to be accurate. And when it's done, say you want to take another look at it, hit the viewer, it'll bring that screen up. Say you want to see the property, it'll bring that screen up. You can run your 3 screens, save and go to the next one, and you can just rifle through all of them till your whole grid's complete. Then you put your number, then you get your value, then you make your adjustment, then you generate your reconciliation statement based on how much detail. You can run a AI poll on it, and then it's going to generate what it's going to tell you your reconciliation. So make sure it's all right, and then include it in your report. And then in the end, this is where we get to a market conditions report based on all of the data we put in. So it's going to pull from the pipeline all of this records that we created. We can drop that file then that I showed you for our market conditions in the area in here, and then it'll load it and then generate your report. It'll give you all the data that you need, including your seller concessions and your time. So here's your time chart, kind of like the Fanny thing that they came out with. But here's your summaries. You can set what your market is here, and then that carries through the whole report. Lots of data in here, some graphs, save and print it to PDF. So then we're going to create some checks. Make sure our report's right, accurate, and ready to go. Call it a pre-flight checker. And then we're going to finalize here. And we're going to say what approaches we used, what the value is, and then we're going to finish and build. And then that will create a zip file for your work file that is complete. Incomes. So I didn't say why I'm not doing the income or that, so it won't do it until I do that. So there it is, delivered. There you go. That's it. And the next one is what I have going on with 3.6. Look at all the data they want to get. So we're populating this based on our actual appraisal process. We're not in here clicking drop downs. We can do that later after it's all filled, done, complete. So we don't have to live in a form. We can do an appraisal, create an appraisal process, and our appraisal process fills the form. We're not form fillers. So this is the complete software, why we need the data that we need to create the appraisal process that we developed using all the features of computing and AI. And I'm developing some more features that I like. And if you have any ideas, you want something in your custom software, let me know and I'll build it in. Thanks and have a great day.